Boston.
And sometimes Russ. Oh, I like it. That's awesome. That's terrific.
Good evening and welcome to Town Talk. And I'm trying to think of, where is that place? Where's that going? Is that Florida? Oh, that's the new school. It looks like palm trees out there, doesn't it?
Go ahead, just twist it. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, there's Russ's house.
Yeah, this is my backyard.
Yeah, we're in Russ's backyard.
So I have to tell you something. We had a storm yesterday, sort of,
Yeah.
and I have never seen my neighborhood so well cared for since I moved there. And you know why, don't you?
Yes.
Oh, they put a snow rep in my neighborhood.
Well, remember the last show I said they haven't plowed Benton Road?
Mm-hmm.
It was plowed the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And today they did a good job this week.
That road's a disaster. That needs help. That's as bad as Swift.
It needs to be rebuilt.
Oh, it really does. It really, really does.
Well, Swift Road was done.
No, only Crescent.
No, they did. Dick Sawzo was DPW director, and they did Swift Road.
I'll tell you what. With all of the traffic on that road now,
Oh, I
and
know.
the buses, it is a disaster.
Yeah.
It's not like those people live on Goldwaith Road,
Look at how long it took to get that one done.
Oof. Oof.
And right after they did it, Andy moved.
Mm-hmm.
God rest his soul.
Yeah. But yeah, it was very interesting to have that snow rep on the street, and
Yeah.
it was curb to curb, and it was beautiful. He's a hell of a snow rep, by the way.
And they didn't pile it up at the handicapped access. I'll tell you, this was a wicked
He happened to
storm.
be an old friend of ours.
Yeah.
That
Oh, is that right?
is contracted to ride one of the plows.
Oh, so
Good guy.
You saw the show or something?
Really good guy, yeah.
But you see, this was a tough storm.
Oh, because of the ice.
I went out with my snowblower at 4 o'clock this morning, couldn't move it. It was just about throwing it. I mean, I got a big one and it's tough, but it would get clogging up.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Oh,
I can't believe it just snowed now.
It's snowing again?
Yeah.
Well, they
little
said flurries, yeah, flurries. But I finally got it cleaned. It took me all day. And then even after I got the snowblower to move most of it, but then I had to go out with a shovel after to scrape it down.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't want to turn to ice tonight.
No. So this is the Northbridge
Election
election.
coming
Pretty
up
interesting.
second Tuesday in May.
So
No, second Tuesday in May is town meeting.
Charles Ampagumian.
Third Tuesday in
Right.
May.
Charles Ampagumian is up this year.
Yeah.
James Athanas is up this year.
Yes, but he hasn't committed yet to running
Well,
even.
I don't think he's here that much. Let's see, Mrs. Buma is up this year for the Housing Authority.
Yeah, but I thought she was the a governor's appointment.
Says term expires 2019.
Yeah, but that she could be appointed
be.
by the governor.
There's a vacancy too.
Oh.
Interesting. And the one of all of them that I really can't wait to see, and you know what that is the moderator is up this year.
Yes.
Interesting.
Same year I'm up.
Interesting.
I'm up this year.
I know, I saw that. I saw that right there.
And no one has come forward to run. So, it's almost like they're begging me to run.
Oh, I didn't realize this.
What is it?
How is Labrassa on two different committees at the same time?
Which ones?
School committee and building planning construction.
Well, you're appointed
That's
building
right,
planning
he's the
construction.
appointee from the school committee.
Right. But I don't believe he's running for re-election.
Who's not up?
Oh, he's not up.
He's up 2021. Struzella is up in 19. Then in trustees and memorials, you got a couple guys up.
So who's up?
DeFazio
Yeah.
and Gallagher.
Oh, okay. I think they're
One's a veteran, one's
a
non-veteran.
veteran, one's a non-veteran.
Right.
But no one wants to do anything,
Well,
having trouble finding
look.
people for all boards.
There were two things. Well, there were a couple of things that I used to say when people would call me when I was on the Board of Selectmen. I think you know what they are. Who are you? Because if you don't tell me your name, you really don't exist. And are you a registered voter?
Yep,
Because if you don't vote, don't bitch.
right, right.
Get off your ass and participate. It's that simple.
But I'll tell you, today now, with the new state laws, I gotta take this course online to make sure that I don't break any conflict of interest laws. I mean, come on. And the legislature is exempt. If anybody should be involved, it's them.
Oh, yeah, really. Don't lie.
And then you got to do this paperwork. I don't raise any money. I don't spend any money to run for election, but yet you got to make out the paperwork. I mean, come on. And every year you got to review the sexual harassment laws
Yep.
and sign a paper that you looked at them.
Right.
I mean, this is why people don't run for office. Why
It's
bother?
why people don't have businesses.
Yeah.
Do you realize I had to take an 8-hour course and a 2-hour test or however long it took me to be serve safe,
Yeah.
to cook in a restaurant?
Yeah.
And it's $160.
8 hours?
8-hour course,
Yeah.
$160, and you got to take the test.
Plus, you're going to take a course to be the bartender.
Well, yeah, you got to take tips class. That's
Yeah.
a joke. I could give that class in my sleep.
I know.
I've been taking that for 40 years. I can take that in my sleep. I could do it better than they do it.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is where I took it, one of the inspectors for the town I took it in, you know where,
Yeah.
took the test with us. Couldn't pass it. Couldn't pass the test. And that person's an inspector.
And he's an inspector.
No. She.
Oh, she.
An inspector.
Did you
A
take
board
it
health inspector?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
town?
Yeah.
Do a
Yeah.
redo and pass it? Or?
Yeah, you have to take it again. Or you can't have the job.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to take it till you pass. And what are you going to score?
You got to score 70 points or better
Yeah.
out of 93.
I mean,
I mean, there's some technical stuff in there. You got to know temperatures
yeah.
and some diseases and things like that. And
No, it's quite involved.
oh yeah.
And, how much do you pay people to?
Here's the kicker. Do you want to take a guess where the guy who gave the course lives?
Northbridge.
New Hampshire.
Yeah. Oh.
It's a Massachusetts course. The guy lives in New Hampshire, comes all the way down to give you a course in Massachusetts. We're paying somebody from out of state to give our state test. Is that the most ridiculous thing ever?
We don't even collect income tax from them.
No, that's just like that nitwit mayor in Boston when he had the drapes done in his room in his office, and he had it done in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind. You want to keep business in your state. Well, they did that whole thing from New Britain to Hartford. They did the speed line. It's buses. It's only buses and only trains in this specific. It's to get people into Hartford from the
Yeah, I go down here, see that, the commuter lane there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no. This is an actual bus and train lane from
Oh, okay.
Hartford all the way to New Britain because
Yep.
they wanted to be able to get people back and forth to that area. It's a Connecticut job. People from Massachusetts did the job. Okay. All right. Whatever. It's crazy. It's downright crazy.
It is. Talk about taxes. Boy, that state is,
Connecticut?
yeah.
It's awful. How can you make that much money from 2 casinos and screw up your budget that much? They're in dire straits down here.
Yeah, they're on verge of bankruptcy.
And they get millions a year from the casinos.
Yep.
And their taxes are higher on their gas. The taxes are higher on their properties.
Sales tax is higher.
Oh yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
it's across the boards on everything.
Oh yeah.
Well, who's the senator there now? Lieberman used to be the
Oh
senator.
yeah. No, he's not around anymore.
Another
No.
guy?
He retired.
Yeah, who's doing it now?
Well, one of them is,
A Democrat too? Or?
yeah, they're both
Paul.
Democrats.
So's the governor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why taxes are.
Oh, yeah, Doug Governor's a nitwit.
One of them's the guy that forgot he didn't go to Vietnam.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that guy,
Yeah,
right? What the heck is his name?
yeah. Now I forgot his name too, but he talked about how he was a Vietnam veteran
Yeah, yeah.
and then never went to Vietnam.
It's kind of like being an Indian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Similar. Similar.
Yeah.
And I'm not running for president because I'm going to stay in my state and work for the people of my state.
Until I get reelected.
Reelected,
running.
I'm running for president.
And last week went to an Indian, Native American function of some kind.
That's
Hey, I'm
why-
with you.
That's why we call her Liawatha.
Yeah. And how about well, they all got contradictions.
Oh, God, yes.
And now Markey
Oh, I can't stand him.
Markey
Phony son
doesn't
of a
want to
gun.
vote. He doesn't want to vote on the Green Deal.
He was standing
You know
right
about the
next
Green
to,
Deal?
Why
Yeah.
doesn't he want to vote on it?
Ocasio-Cortez's deal.
He says he doesn't want the Senate to vote on it. He's going to filibuster to prevent a vote.
He's not smart enough to read that many words at one time.
Why doesn't he want to? I thought he was supporting it.
Yeah, but because he doesn't want people to know. I don't know. He's
All right, hit this one first and that one.
yeah, the
Oh,
top one
here we
first.
go. That's Markey, probably.
You're on.
Oh,
Hold on. I'm going to get speaker. Which is a speaker here?
yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah, the guy's name is Blumenthal.
Blumenthal, that's it.
There you go. Thank you.
Got that from
Okay.
we got that from a real Vietnam vet.
Yeah, that's right. But he was misquoted. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. They're always misquoted.
The problem is you can't get away with that anymore because somebody's got it on video.
Yeah.
You can't get away with anything.
You know, the thing is too,
Okay, just,
he wasn't
just
even,
call, let you know.
he wasn't even
Appreciate it.
he wasn't in the regular army. He was in the guard.
Yeah. Well, hey, what can I say?
Right.
Okay then.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, it's okay.
Oh, that's Tommy.
You know, I could, at least, you know, I don't say I was a Vietnam vet. I was a Vietnam era vet. I was in the army during the Vietnam War, but I didn't go to Vietnam. So I'm not going to say I went to Vietnam. I didn't go there. All right. I mean, hey, not everybody went.
So you're like sort of like Nathan Phillips, kind of? Is that
Like what?
Nathan Phillips, the Indian that was playing the drum and the kids?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Here's another one. Remember the Indian playing the drum?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said he was a Vietnam vet,
Vietnam era.
but no, but then he changed it to Vietnam era.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then they found that that wasn't actually true because he was in later in the 70s. The war ended in 72?
71? Was it?
No, it was later than that.
73.
73, 73, 73.
Because my number came up in 73.
Yeah.
I was getting out of high school.
Oh,
And
And it ended. Like, okay.
yeah.
good luck for you.
I didn't get the benefit of a lottery.
Oh, you were older than I am.
Yes.
Just by a week or two.
I went in when everybody was going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you were just, yeah. When you turned 18, it was a good shot you were going. You're going in the military. And I came very close. I could have, well, I was at the Boston Army base when they were first, it would bring you there, then we'd get assigned to Fort Dix for basic
Beautiful
training.
New Jersey.
Yeah. But I was at the Boston Army base, and this guy comes over and he goes, 1, 2, 3, he counts out 10. I was number 11. He goes, okay, you 10, you're in the Marines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the Marines couldn't find enough people, so they were drafting into the Marines as well. And I was the 11th person in line, which is, I thought, because I would have ended up in the Marines. And then I was down at Fort Dix. I broke my elbow,
Ooh.
radial fracture, my elbow. I was scheduled, I had orders to go to line engineer school. And line engineer down in Fort Belvoir, you were going to Vietnam because you went there to dig out mines. Yeah. And I had to be postponed because I broke my elbow. And then they didn't know what to do with me. They held me over, and then they put me into supply. And first you know, we had the Czech invasion. The Russians had invaded Czechoslovakia in that summer of '68, and they thought they were going to actually come into Germany. So the administration had a huge buildup of troops into Europe under Johnson back in late '68.
Wow.
And I was one of them they sent over there. And they told us, we're sending you there as a speed bump. Yeah.
A speed bump.
If the Russians come across the border, you have to slow them down till we can get more troops in.
That's a lovely thought.
Yeah. I was like 25 miles from the Czech border.
Wow.
I was in Bavaria. But, you know, hey.
Good pretzels.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you hear?
You go where you have to go.
Did you hear in that the World War I movie about some of the people that
Yes,
were talking
yeah.
about they were 15 years old?
You'll never grow old.
15 years old and so forth. And
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
16, yeah.
Yeah, guys would sneak
just-
in because
they sneak
they
in
would
because
lie
they
about their
want.
age.
Wow.
And then when they got there, they said, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, war gets glorified by TV, by movies, you know, back then by people reading in books.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when you go to the real thing, it's not as
little different.
glorified as it's found.
Yeah. It was quite a sacrifice. Those
Oh, yeah.
kids did.
Oh, yeah.
But that was not, I mean, in World War II, you had guys that signed up that weren't legal. But the policy was that always that you didn't go to combat unless you were 18 years old. So if you went in at 17, under your parents' permission, you weren't allowed in combat till you turned 18.
I know my uncles and my father always talked about how they were at a Giants game when Pearl Harbor hit, and they all stopped the game and said, you know, the Japanese have bombed Pearl Harbor, and everybody went, where the hell's Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, nobody knew what hell
Nobody
it
knew what it
was.
was.
Yeah. They were at the polo field,
Polo grounds.
polo ground.
Polo
yeah.
grounds, yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It was the original field for the Giants.
That's right.
Go ahead, Carl, you're on.
Hey, good evening, guys.
Hey, Barry.
Hello,
Oh,
hello.
yeah.
Hey, another thing, Harry. Remember, if you got drafted and you went to Vietnam, there was a 40% chance you weren't coming back, and your life expectancy in a hot LZ was 6 minutes.
Yeah.
That's something that for these younger people to
Wow.
realize what our generation went through. You know.
Oh, yeah. But here again, you know, I'll be the first to say, not everybody, for every combat person, there's 5 backup.
No.
So, you know, not everybody, you had a lot of garrison troopers, too.
Right, but they were all part of the war effort. You know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but just want to recalibrate back onto some town stuff. I watched the Board of Selectmen meeting the other night. It was very informative. I know you were there, Harry,
Yeah.
and along with Kenny. And I thought the part about the cannabis. I mean, if my math is correct, the town is going to be getting quite a little good chunk of money for at least 5 years.
Here again, I don't think people should get excited about that because
Right.
by the time they open, there's probably going to be 50 places in Massachusetts.
Mhm.
So, you know, you're not going to get the concentration you're getting now.
Right.
In fact, there'll be at least one in Uxbridge. I know because at
It's open in a couple weeks.
in a
Yeah,
couple
it's
weeks,
pretty soon.
Caroline.
Yeah.
Right.
She used to come to a planning board meeting. She tried to open in Northbridge.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, she was trying to open here. She was trying to open anywhere. She's from
Right.
Douglas, but you know that's where she got her license, and she got her license now. So
Right, but going by the gentleman's projections, they were talking, anywhere between a $3 to $4 million sales, and then plus the 50,000 that they were going to be given to the town. What for 5 years?
yeah,
If you do 3% on 4 million, that's 120,000 there plus the 50. So I mean, to be cautiously optimistic, 170 grand a year if they do the 4 million in sales.
yeah. Which, I mean, it's a possibility,
Right.
but here again, like I said, there's gonna be a number of places open.
Right, right.
But the thing is, that stuff's so expensive
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah, you could hit $4 million because you gotta pay so much for it.
I'll tell
Right,
you,
right. And this is just the first agreement, right?
Well, yeah, this is the first retail outlet we've got an agreement with.
Right. Because isn't there a couple more they're talking
There's
about?
two more. I think by law, we can only have 3,
Right.
okay? And we also have a growing facility, but that's under a different agreement.
Right.
it's one of those in my neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah, it's a few of 'em around.
I'm not kidding either.
I know.
I'll tell you what, though.
Yeah.
The way that this is being, how do I explain this? The way that this is growing,
Uh-huh.
in not just you have the situation where now recreational marijuana is coming up.
Right.
Look, folks, anything you smoke is not good for you. Let's face it.
Right.
Anything you smoke is not good.
Right.
But the other half of it, the gummy bears and the Simpson oil and the they call a thing that called crumble, which I just learned about today.
I know there's so much weird stuff out there.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story, interesting story. One of my customers had prostate cancer, lung cancer, now cancer in the bone of his hip.
Oh.
He uses crumble on ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to a very, very well-known pharmacologist. She's come from our town. She's PhDs coming out of her ears. She's brilliant. She's part of the state pharmacology program. And what she explained to me, very simply, was what happens with people using this product is you get rest, deep rest, because your body calms itself down. And when your body can rest, it can fight for itself.
Will help the immune system.
And it really does. There's a thing called Simpson oil. I mean, there's a bunch of this stuff that is very beneficial to people who are ill
Right.
and in pain. And
I mean, if it's
forget
better
the
than
smoking.
opioid stuff.
Forget the smoking stuff. That's done. That's the dumbest thing you could do. Anything that you put in your lungs is a bad idea. But the other stuff is beneficial because it helps people get better, or it helps people maintain for a longer period of time.
Right.
I mean, I got no problem with them coming in,
Hell no.
believe me.
Right. Now, Harry, a gentleman mentioned at the meeting this THC vaping. Now, what is that? Do you know anything about that?
Well, THC is the drug part of the marijuana.
Right.
That's the one that gives you the high.
What you do is you take. You ever see one of these vape cigarettes?
I thought people were just using that for like in lieu of cigarettes.
But here's the kicker:
Oh.
is instead of taking the oil that they give you that has nicotine in it, thank you, in it, they take the THC oil and they vape that.
And so you wouldn't even know they're doing it, right?
Never have any idea.
Oh.
That's why all your restaurants and buildings are saying no vaping inside.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Yeah, 'cause I was wondering what that was.
and the problem with that is you can get high, and nobody knows you're high.
Right.
Right.
Well, you could tell they're driving at 7 miles an hour.
Yeah, right.
We're eating a lot.
Yeah, right.
But,
Well, not all the time. Sometimes it goes the other way too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Not often though.
But would be nice is if the if they're able to find out exactly what the whole monetary amount is, and maybe see what the town is going to do with this additional revenue, because like you say, I mean the town has so many needs, and in tax, could it be used to help offset the cost of the new school or the fire station in the future, or put it out to the voters to see what they want to do with the funding? But I don't know. I was just wondering about that.
I'm pretty sure.
Think about that, Russ.
I'm pretty sure that the only way you could do that is to create an enterprise fund,
Right.
Because it's going to go into the general fund.
Right. That's
Right.
Any income.
I'll manage it
It's
then.
just as we tried to do before, we have 2 friggin' fire apparatus in the back we should be selling, and to do that you have to go through a whole litany of problems to get that into the just the fire. We tried to do it once where we had a fund. It was just a fund for a surplus Dick Sawsville started it. It was a surplus
Oh, yeah, service
equipment fund.
yeah.
And then you could use that to maintain or buy a newer piece of equipment. I'm not sure that that's still in force. I think that had a limitation on it.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a great idea. Hey, look, any influx of money into the town is going to be helpful. Let's face it.
Right.
But, you know, if you got enough, if you make out the budget and there's money left over, here again, it goes into the
Stabilization.
fund, and you build it up enough, and you need to do something, you can draw on it.
Right.
Right. That's if they want to. That's if they want to use it. You know.
Well,
Well,
that's
you
up
can't.
to town meeting.
You can't make the stabilization fund so big.
No, you limit to what you can do.
There's actual limits to the amount of money.
Right, because
and what you can do with it.
When you reach a certain amount, you gotta cut your taxes.
Right.
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 But at least it's some additional revenue and
Oh,
hopefully
heck yes.
Not
they'll
only,
look
you
at
know,
some options for
keep
it,
in
you know.
mind too, they're gonna pay taxes on that building.
That too.
And it's gonna be a lot more than what we're getting now for the current buildings that are there, because they're not in that great a shape.
They are a fire hazard.
Yeah,
Well, that's why, like we discussed in the past, Harry, like a lot of this surplus town land that the town owns, if they possibly sold it, there'd be business on it or whatnot that town can get property tax.
well,
You know?
see, I don't know where there's that much surplus town land.
Mhm.
In some cases, there's land that belongs to, that's under the control of the conservation, and what it is, it was green space that was put into the plan for the subdivisions.
Right.
So that's to
There
remain.
is a certain amount of property that we've taken over under tax title that can
Right.
be auctioned off.
Well, they
that
have
21
auctioned
acres
some.
across from the wastewater treatment plant, Harry. That's
Yeah, that's
collecting cobwebs.
the problem with that land is it's a disaster
Yeah,
because it's nothing but ledge.
right.
But town officials have said that it's buildable.
Well, anything is buildable,
If you're
Right,
willing to
right.
put the money into it.
right.
Right.
But we're going to be probably looking at some other things. We're looking at a fire station. Where we're going to put that?
Well,
You know,
I heard a rumor
Go
that
ahead,
that's coming of age.
yeah.
They're working on the
They're-
process now.
They're on a process, but I like to know where.
Well,
It will be interesting to see where they want to put it.
yeah, I think Harry's idea is great. Of course, it costs me more in
What's that
insurance,
down
but
at Plummer's Corner?
yeah, I think that'd be terrific.
I know, but
Well-
like I say, you see what everybody, you have good suggestions, but the town's going to do what they want to do,
Well, it comes down to the building planning committee. They're the ones that are making the study.
Right, but they're getting direction from people too.
Right. Well, they're going to do a feasibility study, and that's where someone comes in and makes a good chunk of change.
Right.
You know the definition of a consultant.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a guy you give your watch to and then ask him what time it is all day.
Yep.
Yeah. And now on that local historic district, Harry, is there any private residents going to be involved in that?
Not the current buildings we're discussing right now, other than the fact that not residents, but there's private ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's no private residences.
No.
And I thought I heard Gary say that if they were going to have to add private residences, there would have to be a whole new process again.
Oh yeah, you have to go through the whole process again with a study committee and believe me, the study committee just they say, "Oh, we'll take this one, we take this one." You got to justify it to the state as to the reason you're taking that particular property. This is why we cut it down, because we were looking at a bigger area, but the justifications were much tougher.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. If you go up Hill Street, you take Carr Funeral Home. That was the Gustav Taft's house. He was one of the first superintendents for the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, beautiful spot, nice place, looks great. But the houses after it really aren't part of it.
Right.
So if you want to continue, but then you go up and you got the LaSalle Mansion. Okay, that was part of the shop. Well, how do you justify the other houses?
Right.
And you make it contiguous.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we broke away. We made sense. Our consultant, the guy we gave our watch to,
Right.
he's the one who said, why don't you do a crossroads?
Oh, okay.
And that's what he came up with, and he said, you take the crossroads via Church Street, Main Street, Douglas Road, Hill Street, that intersection right there.
Uh-huh.
And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the community center, the bank building, the Aldridge School, which is owned by the town, the library, the Presbyterian Church, the parsonage for the church, the town common, the Episcopal Church, the memorials around the square, the cotton mill, the town hall, and the alternatives,
Now,
as
isn't
well
that
as the
already
Fletcher
in the local
House.
historic district?
Huh?
Now, isn't that already in the state historic district?
It's in a heritage district.
So I mean, so we're going to have another district?
Yeah, well, this is set up for what the Park Service. The Park Service came to the selectmen,
Right.
and they put in they requested that the selectmen do a boundary of local historic district,
Right.
and the selectmen agreed to that,
Uh-huh.
and that's why the committee was formed, because the selectmen agreed to come up with something,
Right.
and that's what the committee's job is.
Oh, okay.
And
And I thought I heard the chairman say that it was voluntarily if these people want to opt into it.
no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, so if that district gets approved, that those businesses or the ones named mandatorily have to go into it.
Yeah, we at the boundary. It's like setting a zoning boundary.
Oh, okay.
Zoning is not voluntary. You're in it.
Oh, okay. And then would there be certain restrictions on the property?
Well, that's what we haven't gotten to yet.
Oh, okay.
And believe me, I'm chairman of that committee,
Okay.
and it's going to be very limited as possibly can.
Right. Right.
Well, basically, what it is you can't tear it down.
Uh-huh.
Right? Yeah. But you
Like
can't.
they did in Webster. Have you been through Webster?
Well, that downtown, yeah.
Have you seen the library?
I might have seen it, but I really didn't take
It's
note
the
of it.
big glass building where Main Street turns.
Uh-huh.
You have a historic area, a lot of older style buildings,
Right.
and they put
right.
this
The city hall. is-
ridiculous glass, bird glass library in that's as modern could be, and it just sticks out like a sore thumb.
Oh,
It looks absolutely ridiculous. Because of the architects, there's a new product out today called bird glass. And you and I wouldn't notice, you just think it's dots. They're little birds
Oh,
printed on the glass because birds will smash themselves into
Right.
high-rise buildings.
yes.
So the new thing is you don't want, from the Audubon Society, and you don't want the birds to be killing themselves on the glass. So they put tiny little birds on it.
Right, because I
They're
know some
embedded in the
people that
glass. They're part of
turkeys
the
have
glass.
flown into their picture windows,
Yeah.
you know.
But it looks just like dots. It's a 4-story glass building in the middle of this older styled community. And it just looks ridiculous.
Right, but we're not even getting, as far as tearing down, there's restrictions on some of those buildings already. They're in Heritage District. But,
Now, would these places get any additional cost assessed to them?
well, no, there's no grants. I mean, there's grants out there, but not for that. That's a whole different ballgame.
Oh, okay, because I thought somebody said that if they did any improvements, they'd have to go through a bureaucratic process or something.
No. Not, we're not going to say you can't put new windows. We're not going to say you can't put new doors. You can put new entryways. We just want to be able to, on a tour, say to people, here's the bank building that was built by the Whitens.
Oh, okay.
Here's the factory that was started by the Whitens. That's
Doesn't
all.
that guy always come back and do a tour?
Oh,
That Whiten
so
guy?
like for the national.
Yeah, well, he does.
Services
I'm going to
System.
be the tour guy in September.
Are you?
Yeah. I
That-
volunteered to
that
be.
makes sense.
I
Said
volunteered to
yeah,
be
they
a tour
were
guide
gonna
for
do a
the.
little tour or something, Harry.
Yeah, I volunteered to do a tour in September for the Heritage Corridor.
Oh, that should be interesting.
You gonna get a top hat? Come on. Come on, the other guy
One of
did.
those ranger hats.
Ranger hat.
we got
Ranger Rick.
A three-corner hat.
Hey, I gotta take my hat off to the DPW. They did a good job.
They
time
did.
with the storm, so I just wanted
It
to
was a
say that
tough
before
one.
I left. But Hey, you guys have a good night. I'll let somebody else call in. Stay safe and stay well.
You too.
All right. See you later, Barry. Yeah,
You're not gonna dress up like one?
no,
One of the
no.
Come on.
No,
Come
no.
on.
No,
A little
I'm
West Coat and that whole bit.
I got to do my brush up on my history because I'm doing a verbal tour of that general area.
That's awesome.
I'll be in the Go book. They put out a pamphlet called Go,
Mm-hmm.
and it's for different projects that are going on in September within the Heritage Valley, Blackstone Heritage National Park.
I went on a tour last week, and they were dressed up just like the old days.
Oh, in
It was a little
Louisville?
bit more fun.
In Louisville?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a bourbon stuff.
Oh, yeah, they have
story.
bourbon tour down there. Bourbon's big down there.
Awful. God, that stuff is awful. Jeez.
I prefer Scotch.
So do I. Like,
Yeah.
wash this around in your mouth. I'm like, no, it's awful. I'm not doing that again. Oh, you'll feel the bouquet on your tongue. No, it's burning. It's awful.
Yeah, I'm a Scotch drinker.
Oh my.
But, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be this restrictive. We've met with a couple of the people involved, and they have no problem.
So that's the Whiten Community Center,
Yep,
the Austin Building,
yep.
the Town Hall,
Town Hall, the Town Hall
Alternatives.
Annex,
right? Alternatives,
alternatives,
Cotton Mill,
Cotton Mill Apartments,
the Common.
the Town Common,
What else?
Presbyterian Church,
Oh, okay, right,
which is also controlled by Vinnie,
right.
and the Parsonage, which is part of the Presbyterian Church,
Okay,
the White Building, right after the library.
okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
in the library,
Uh-huh,
and the memorials.
okay. So
You know, the World War II
What's the big
and
deal?
Vietnam Memorial. Yeah.
what's the big deal?
Oh, and the Fletcher House, which is owned by the Historic Society.
You know, in that district is a very old, historic building. It's called the Gray Barn. It should be in the historic building too. Oh, you've been there?
I've been there once. Yeah.
It is. It really was a barn.
Yeah.
It was part of the farm.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a historical building then.
Yeah. I mean, that whole. There are some historic. I mean, the building, the house, it's a duplex right after the Vietnam Memorial. The first duplex.
Yeah.
That was the first house built by the Whitens for their help.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that was originally included, but we took it out.
So the Carr Funeral Home was
Gustav Taft's house.
Gustav Taft.
He was the first shop superintendent.
Quite a house.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful building.
yeah.
And they keep it up very well.
Oh, they do a great job.
Want me to do it?
Yeah,
This one first, and then this one.
yeah.
You're on.
Hit it again.
Hello?
Hello,
Hello?
Harry.
Yes.
Any idea what's going on with the old Arbitron building in Rockdale?
Well, it's up for sale. The original owner, the owner of it died, and his daughter inherited it, and she just wants to sell it.
They're working on it. That's why I'm asking if.
Oh, I don't know if anybody bought it. I don't know. It doesn't. The for sale sign's still up, but that'll be up until they close. Realtors don't take the for sale sign down until they get a deposit anyway.
Well, they're working on the interior for a
Well,
week
they are.
now.
Well, maybe somebody going in there then.
Yeah.
We looked at that when we were looking for a new studio. We looked at that building, but we didn't move in there because we're going to need a lot of work, and the parking is extremely limited.
Oh, yeah. Always has been down there.
How long are we going to have an airport hangar down in Hickory, Rockdale?
Yeah, it does look like an airport. Yeah,
It
that
really
you know
is
what
weird.
that was originally. You know what that building was?
That was Lindblad.
Yeah, it was Miranda Garage.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the building you just talked about for sale.
Arbitron? That
Yeah.
was a movie theater.
Yeah, it was a movie theater.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep. It was the Rockdale Movie Theater.
Yeah. I remember that.
Ah, see? Yeah, you're older. I went to a movie there.
Okay.
One of the last
Good
ones they
night.
showed. My father actually renovated that building. Oh. My father worked on a renovation to that building, and they turned it into an Overshaw Hardware.
No kidding.
Yep.
I don't remember Aubuchon Harbor down there.
No,
I
yeah.
remember it in the center of town,
Center of town,
you
yeah.
know, on Church Street.
No, it was,
was
down there. Ernie
distraught when they
Croto.
got rid of
Ernie
it.
Croto was the manager.
Hmm.
Before that, they were down by, well, where the, I'm trying to, from the wall, where the nail place is. Where the old post office was
Okay.
in Rockdale. Miguel wouldn't know because he hadn't been here that long. But there was a stretch of buildings there. Aubuchon was in there at one point when I was a really little kid.
So it was 100 years ago.
And they moved out of there and moved down there because it was much bigger. And as a kid, we used to go over there and we used to buy nails by the pound to build our tree houses. You could buy nails by the pound. Give me a
Yep.
half a pound. I only got enough money for a half a pound.
There you go.
Yeah.
Something else.
For 50 cents a pound, I only had a quarter.
There you go.
And depending on what size nail you bought, too.
That was a sin because even the one in Church Street, you could always get something that you needed.
Oh, they had everything there. Wasn't it amazing?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, I got some downstairs.
yeah.
What?
June and their brother.
And now the closest place is in Webster.
Yeah. Is that one still open?
Right on
I know where it is. Right
12.
on, yeah,
around 12.
yeah,
The hardware store?
yeah.
Yeah.
Overshaw Hardware.
Koopmans.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
but we're
another
talking Overshaw.
Aubuchon and,
Overshaw Hardware was
Oh.
unique because they had everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
No matter what you were looking for, they had it. For some reason, they had it, or they would get it within a couple of days.
Yep. It's nice to see. Nice to see the people still around though,
Yes.
down in Koopmans. you know.
Yep. Well, her brother went to work for stayed with Overshaw. I think down in Connecticut.
Oh, no kidding.
But
June
yeah.
knows her stuff.
Oh yeah, June's very good. He did a great job at Koopmans. I go in
Uh-huh.
there, look, what are you looking? No matter what it is, oh, here it is, right here. She knows that place pretty well now.
Yes, she does.
That was a good move on Koopman's part to
Oh,
grab her.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I walked in there and saw Don there the other day.
Oh, Don.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
Looks great. He looks great.
No, he's in great shape. Haven't seen him in a while. But
I remember June when in Aubuchon actually when they told them they were gonna close.
Yeah.
One day they told them.
Yeah.
yeah, you got to come in one day. So
Yeah.
we're all
Same
done.
day.
We're closing the store today. Hell of a time, like give them a little notice,
Well, they didn't want them to steal.
and I'm glad to
Not
see
that she
that.
ever would. She's the most honest person you know.
Oh, I know.
I met him. I met Aubuchon
Oh, yeah, the big tall guy.
at a function, and I let him have it.
Mm.
I was like, you know what? I'm from Whitensville. He goes, oh, God. I'm like, yeah, you screwed up. You screwed up. I said, we loved that store. He goes, well, we loved, June and her brother. And I said, yeah, well, why'd you close the store? Well, economically. I said,
Dennis.
no, you screwed up.
Yeah, Dennis.
Yeah,
Her brother.
Dennis, that's it.
Yeah, the thing is, I thought it did pretty good.
Did. Have you ever gone in there and not seen anybody in there?
Yeah, and they were open on Sundays.
Right. But every time you went in there were people there
Yep.
buying something. But, they do this now.
Yeah.
Hey, look at Papa Genos.
Whoa. Yeah.
They're closing.
Oh, I closed
No,
a lot of stuff.
yeah,
22
closed
stores
a
in
lot.
the area.
Yeah.
Sears.
Yuxbridge one closed?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
The one on 20 closed. The one on 12 by the mall stayed open. But 22 are in this area closed. Which is weird because a lot of them are hooked up with D'Angelo's.
Yes.
Very strange.
But all these places come and go. Remember Genos?
Oh, yeah.
Geno's Hamburgers. They had the best sauce. Those hamburgers were phenomenal. They're gone. They're long gone now, but God, that might be 30 years now. I mean, everything has a shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, around
Except
here,
McDonald's.
yeah. You know,
Good Lord, I just don't get it.
a big place around here was Millie Mitchell's.
Oh yeah, I remember Millie
Oh
Mitchell's.
God, the fried clams and the onion rings.
Yeah.
Long gone.
It's amazing to drive through town late at night and look at McDonald's. There's a line in the drive-through every night.
Oh, I know.
Oh my!
It's amazing, isn't it?
How the hell?
Because it's quick and easy,
Oh yeah.
Convenience.
Yeah.
convenient. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's what we call the McDonald's mentality in our business. I want it quick and I want it my way. Well, guess what? You're still waiting. You still gotta make it.
And, you know, it's not that cheap.
No.
Yeah, it's not that cheap, especially when
No.
you get the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7,
I mean,
$20 right there. Like what?
I remember when they used to have the big sign out there with 15-cent hamburgers.
Yeah.
15 cents for a hamburger.
Do you know what we used to do? We used to buy a sack of White Castle burgers for
Oh,
$2.
Wow.
You ever heard of White Castle?
At the movie I have.
Yeah, well, they're little square hamburgers.
yep.
They come out. They have
One bite.
a machine drops onions on it, and the machine drops ketchup on it, and they slide it in a little box. You used to have a sack of 7 for $2.
Like
Yep.
sliders, right? Those-
Yeah, exactly. They were the first sliders.
They were the first
They were
sliders,
the
yeah.
first sliders. But
Really good.
they've been in New York and New Jersey for 60 years.
There was-
60 years.
there
And they're
was-
huge now.
There was one in Worcester, right on the corner of Maine and Chandler.
Okay.
And I don't know what's in there now, but it's
Um,
long gone.
Yeah, nail salon.
Something like that, yeah. But the
Yeah.
castle, you know, they had.
Oh, yeah, the castle. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's still
they
there.
built them over the Oh, yeah, it's huge down in there.
Yep.
Have you been to Coney Island hot dogs?
Oh, yeah.
I used to go to Coney
Oh,
Island
they're still there.
before I went in the Army.
Yeah.
That was a trip on Friday nights. We'd go to Coney Island, and you get 5 hot dogs for $1
Yeah.
with the works for $1. Of course, this is 67, 68. And you get a couple of chocolate milks for about $2. You had a heck of a meal.
Mm-hmm.
You carve your name on one of the seats there?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And in fact, I went back. I got drafted. I gone away for 2 years. Come back in 1970, right? Going to Coney Island, and the same crew's in there. And I walked in. A guy, hey, Hattie from Rockdale. He was a Greek guy. They remembered me after 2 years. That's how much time I had spent there. We used to go there every Friday night.
It's a pretty cool place.
Yeah.
And great hot dogs.
They have their own recipe.
But now they're a lot more money
Oh, hell yes. $1.25, I think, now.
per dog.
Yeah, per dog.
Yeah.
It's kind of a special trip when you go there. It's kind of takes you back in time a little bit.
Oh yeah.
That sign outside is beautiful. That's
Yes.
Oh, yeah. They had their 100-year anniversary
really?
in September.
Wow.
Yeah, well, see, 100 years ago was the early 1900s, or 1919,
Yeah. Yeah. It had a big celebration. and everything.
1918, yeah.
I still get that paper stuff. You know, I get the actual newspaper, and that stuff is in there. Because I like to read the Irish sports page.
Yep.
He doesn't know what that is.
In Coney Island, you mean?
No, I get the paper at home, and I was reading it, and the story was about Coney Island.
Yeah.
You know what the Irish sports page is?
The Irish sports page.
The obituaries.
Oh, sorry.
That's what they were called.
Sorry.
I know. We mentioned. Unfortunately, I didn't know when they had a local wake for Roger Matthews.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know either. And I was told. Charlie told me he was the only selectman that went.
I didn't know that.
But I said, Charlie, I would have went, but I didn't know
Great guy.
because if you don't get the paper anymore,
Right.
I don't get the paper.
Right, I do.
Fortunately, they were at car. With Jackman, I signed up. And anytime Jackman has a funeral, I get an email. It tells me who it is. So if they're Jackman and I know the person, I'll go. But I don't get that, car doesn't have that service. So I didn't know.
We'll have to talk to Heather.
Yeah, you should set up an email service. Maybe they do have it. I'll have to go to the website and
Heather's
check it
very
out.
nice. She's a very nice lady.
Oh,
Oh, she's
great,
awesome.
great people,
She's
great
awesome.
people. Yes. And family tradition goes on.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Except, get that cranky guy out of there.
That's a cranky.
And
I
Doug?
I give him a hard time. Doug was a funeral director and soccer referee, and I used to give him so much grief. Oh my God, I gave him so much grief as a soccer coach. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. He gives it back to me. Trust me.
Pretty slick with those black coats and that's what they call those hats that they wear.
Fedoras.
Fedoras, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Top hat?
The ones that they wear that from the like.
Oh, like the cabbie hat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of the guys always is what's his name? He was a soccer coach for the high school. His wife worked at the rectory at St. Pat's. Di Gregorio.
Oh, okay.
He's always around, yeah.
Yeah, they're all part-timers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would want to do that. I couldn't, all that grief all the time.
Well,
It's quiet.
you know what?
Yeah.
Whether you realize it or not, nobody gets out of this life alive.
Well, no, that's a fact.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's why you're having more celebrations of life than you are wakes anymore. It's a huge thing now. A huge thing.
Do you remember the first wake you went to when you were a kid, or? 'Cause I remember mine. I remember going in. There was my uncle, and I didn't know what was going on. Everybody was crying. I was a kid.
I can't remember that far back.
My uncle was a funeral director in
Oh.
Yonkers, New York.
Wow.
I'll flip you out. Ready for this? You know what his limo was? A 1933 Duesenberg drive a go to hell car.
Ooh.
He bought it for $3,900. You know what he sold it for when he moved to Florida? $480,000. It looked like the day he bought it.
Oh.
It was good, straight 8.
I,
No, straight 12.
I love those Duesenbergs.
Oh my God. You know what a drive a go hell car is?
No.
That's where the back of the car was encased, and the driver's area only had a canvas over the top.
Oh, yeah.
And the windows. It
Yep.
was called the driver go to hell car. It was a limo,
Yeah.
Yep.
and it was the big white
You
walls.
see them in the old movies.
Oh my God, it was stunning. We were never allowed in it. You could look at it, but you couldn't go in it. That was his pride and joy. My Uncle Lenny, yeah.
$400,000.
480 G's. It's probably, I mean, if you looked at it, that was probably 20 years ago he sold it. So if you look at that, 1989, it probably looked better than the day it came out of the showroom. It was perfection. Wow. He always kept that car perfect.
Take care of it.
Oh my, it was just stunning. I never got to drive that thing. It pisses me off. I wouldn't want to drive that.
But, yeah, I probably do. My grandmother's, my maternal grandmother was probably the earliest I can remember up the top of my head. Funeral I went
I
to.
don't remember. We were in there so often to walk downstairs and.
Well, we had a funeral director that was superintendent of schools.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Some good
Try to use our
stories.
furniture for his funeral parlor.
Yeah, and then his brother got in trouble for stacking well, was it not bodies but ashes, cremated ashes in a one of those rental units.
Yep.
Like the inside the
Yeah.
container, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're in a rental unit, stacked up. Telling people, we haven't got them back yet.
I don't know why it never bothered me going in. I had a friend of mine who's a funeral director. I used to go in this place all the time, and I used to make them special pieces of glass, round pieces of glass, and they put the urns on top. It never bothered me going in there. Of course, I always called him Digger.
Oh, yeah, Digger was.
I didn't know his real name.
Digger was a funeral director on the Rifle Riley show,
Right.
TV show, and the radio.
But it was really funny because I'd known him for so many years as Digger. Somebody asked me his real name one day, and I couldn't remember. Honest to God, I couldn't remember.
So how about the people that, their family was in the funeral business, they grew up in those houses. There'd be a body in the basement,
Yeah,
and they're living upstairs.
yeah. I'm not going to bother you.
No.
I'm not going to bother
anyway.
Well, for
Very
one
quiet.
thing, how's that person going to bother you?
Huh? That's what I used to say when somebody lived next to or across the street from a funeral, a cemetery. Well, neighbors are quiet.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you know, Joe Paquette was from Uxbridge, owned the gas station at the Four Corners of North Uxbridge. Time was a Getty station. I used to sell him parts. He's long gone, but he lived across the street from the cemetery in North Uxbridge. And he used to say to me, I wake up every morning and look over there and say, well, not there yet. And then when he died, I says, you know, Joe, you're there now.
Yeah. Speaking of Uxbridge, that guy Ross Smith,
Yeah.
wasn't he on the Board of Selectmen for years?
Yes, he was. In Uxbridge.
He's in a world of hurt, huh?
What do you mean
He's
with
in
the,
the
with
paper.
his,
He's done
that a
all
cult?
sorts of crazy things.
well,
No, you got to answer it first.
you mean the situation with the street?
Yeah.
Okay, what it is he bought some land, and, well, we got a phone call. Let's explain it after. Go ahead.
Digger's name is Danny Shea.
Danny Shea. That was Digger on the Rife of Riley.
No. Digger, the Undertaker.
I thought it was Digger Odell.
Yeah. Danny.
Real life.
Oh, okay.
Digger
Gotcha.
Shea. Danny Shea from East Douglas.
Oh, you're talking about the Digger he talked about.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, they call him Digger. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Danny Shea.
And
He had the liquor store for a while.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
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 But
All right.
He wasn't an undertaker, though.
Yeah.
He was? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for calling.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Digger's Liquors in Uxbridge. He doesn't own it anymore, but they kept the name.
Digger's Liquors was the name of his.
That was
That's
his nickname.
awesome.
That was his nickname. He was an undertaker.
Oh, they go.
But that's right. You know, you got to dig the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. I tell you, I've got a couple of minutes here. Ross bought this land, and he wanted to subdivide it to put a house up for his son. Well, the road he wants to subdivide on, he came to the planning board to get for his A&R to get it divided. Well, the road that he wants to put it on has a flood easement on it, and we can't approve it because it would be illegal unless he gets the Corps of Engineers to state that it's not a problem, and they release that easement. Well, they wouldn't do it. So he wasn't getting a response from him. So to really get a response from him, to get him moving, he closed half the road because he said, well, I own half the road. The state owns the other half. I'll get them to move. I'll shut down my half. So you only got room for, half a road. And that's what that's about.
Huh. I saw it in the paper. I was like, huh?
Yeah, he's trying to get a approval for a lot there. And we can't, we have to go by the law.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we can't sign the A&R unless we get agreement from that the Corps of Engineers has no problem with the flood easement there, which I don't think they ever used, but they got it. It was
It's
given
like
to
some
them.
of these floodplains.
Yeah,
You know, these 100-year flood, like the Hutnack property.
yeah,
That was ridiculous.
I know.
That thing's never flooded in a million years.
That's been re-looked at now.
I know.
And
But it was stupid because they gave us so much trouble about putting the houses down there and stuff.
yeah,
They just wanted to use it for their own use.
right. Well, that was Picnic Point. They actually got their places down there now. I was on a board when we approved them. See? We will work with you. I was on our board. We always worked with everybody as much as we could. Hey, we got to go now.
Okay.
I'll be here tomorrow night. My guests tomorrow night are Girls on the Run, a group from down in the Linwood Mill who work with girls to make them feel better about themselves.
Good job.
All right? See you tomorrow night.